Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy. You know, as someone who was born in a Japanese household, just naturally, I learned to kind of believe in a lot of kind of Buddhist and more specifically Shintoist beliefs. You know, things like reincarnation and, you know, taking care of oneself and stuff like that. But I think one element that I greatly believe in wholeheartedly is the idea of karma, being that if you do something good, then good things will happen to you, and if you do something bad, then terrible things may happen to you. And it is something that I feel a lot of Japanese people believe in just naturally, coming from, you know, the kind of Shintoist traditions that a lot of Japanese culture is built around. I like to think that especially karma hits hard for people who do bad things, whether it's something bad happens to them in their next life or happens to them in the same life. And for one horrible person, it seems that it happened almost immediately, because this Vice article right here from a while back is a perfect example of instant karma compilation. And when I say instant karma compilation, I'm talking straight up instant. It says here, a man suspected of stabbing a mother and daughter was fatally hit by an oncoming train just 20 minutes later. 20 minutes! The man was believed to be fleeing after attacking the 37-year-old mother and her 15-year-old daughter in their home in the southern prefecture of Fukuoka on Saturday. He was struck by a train at a station just 600 meters away from the crime scene. If that isn't the most instant karma compilation, I don't know what is. Officials identified the man as a 17-year-old student from Tokyo. His DNA matched with samples found in the woman's home. According to the police, the young man broke into their house and attacked them when the woman returned home. Neighbors found the woman covered in blood, but conscious. The daughter told police that she met the attacker through a social media app, and when she stopped contacting him, he was able to track her location using the app's GPS feature, which is absolutely fucking terrifying. And again, it's the fact that this kid was 17 years old, met this daughter through the social media app, God knows what it was, and then did this horrible crime, and then got instantly punished for it. Some higher being was looking down from the heavens and was like, hey yo, this kid, he's doing some whack shit. He's doing some horrible shit. We should fucking strike down a lightning of judgment right this instance, and dying in the most horrific ways. One question I want to ask though, right, is you know, it's fairly difficult to get hit by a train in Japan. Since, you know, there are so many trains in Japan, and there are a lot of, you know, train crossings in Japan as well. I would say they do a pretty good job of making sure that getting hit by a train casualties is down to a bare minimum, you know, close to, if not at zero. You know, if you're on the streets and you see a train crossing, those motherfuckers come down like minutes before the train actually arrives. And you can usually, for the most part, if you're standing near a train crossing anywhere in Japan, you can see and hear a train coming from quite a while away. So unless you're really not paying attention, it is fairly difficult to not get hit by a large train. Did he have his AirPods on and he just wasn't listening and seeing? I don't know what the fuck it was. Let's just say this guy got what he deserved. But here is where the story kind of takes like a bit of a dark twist, and it's something that I definitely want to explore a little bit more of in this video. According to police data, a growing number of criminals in Japan are finding their victims through social media, prompting officials to increase public messaging to reduce such crimes. Since 2012, the number of minors abused by strangers who contacted them through social media nearly doubled to more than 2,000 in 2019, the highest on record before the COVID-19 pandemic skewed police figures. Sakura Tanaka, a 19-year-old resident of the Fukuoka Prefecture, said that she'd recently downloaded a dating app in the hopes of meeting someone, but have now decided not to set up a profile. You just never know who you're meeting. I can't believe he was killed by a train though. It's a weird twist of fate, which is, yeah, that's definitely the correct words to use for this particular story. But yes, as this Vice article has mentioned, a lot of Japanese people have been using these like social media sites. And by social media sites and dating sites, it's probably, you know, things like Tinder and, you know, other Japan-specific dating apps and websites, because there is actually a ton of dating websites in Japan, because again, Japan, especially Japanese youths, have this problem of, you know, meeting people, especially during the pandemic when, you know, there was this whole paranoia about the coronavirus spreading and people not being able to see each other and people being stuck inside and being lonely and sad and wanting a partner there to comfort them during the hard time. But as the classic movie Catfished has taught us from a very long time ago, you can't trust everyone on the internet, and especially especially that is the case in Japan as well, with a lot of young girls and guys using these social media apps to meet people and to socialize and to get into romantic and sexual relations with each other, which is, don't get me wrong, it's a great thing. I met my significant other through social media and on YouTube as well, and I'm sure a lot of couples out there, especially around our age and younger, are slowly starting to do that. It's becoming more and more of a trend. No longer is You Got Mail something that is like part of a fictional world. It is actually true. You can meet people online. But at the same time, these kids really need to be careful about how much information they do share on the internet and how much personal information they share on the internet, because at the end of the day, how much personal information they share could really come back to bite them in the ass, as it happened with this daughter and their mother. I mean, look, let's just say this daughter and mother were probably the luckiest because of the fact that they both survived the attack, first and foremost, but also the culprit got exactly what he deserved and a whole lot more in a funny twist of fate. But I think it really is kind of detrimental, stories like this, to the Japanese youths of today in seeing just what can happen if they do in fact just try to be a little TMI on the big wide world web. So let's just say I'm glad that the girl and the mother were safe and they're recovering and they didn't get killed or anything. Thank God for that. And also, fuck that 17-year-old kid. He got exactly what he deserved. Instant karma compilation. Fuck him. And let this be a lesson to anyone who is ever thinking to do anything similar to this. Don't do it if you don't want to be hit by a train. But I do also believe that it is the responsibility of the parents as well, and the responsibility of older generations and, people like us who are on social media and who have been on social media for the longest time to kind of teach the youths, sometimes you don't have to share everything on the internet. Sometimes you can keep it to yourself. Sometimes you can just keep it to your close friends and your family. Not everyone on Twitter needs to know what time of the day you took a shit and how heavy that shit was. And if you are meeting people online, through these dating apps, through these social media websites, again, please, please, please be careful, especially if you are underage as well, because trust me, there are a lot of fucking creeps on the internet who are trying to take advantage of that shit, and no one wants to see that. So yeah, I know this kind of turned into like a weird little PSA type of thing of, don't share too much information on the internet or anything, but I do think it is an important sentiment, as cliche as it is of a sentiment, to share and remind people, because again, with just how much now social media has been integrated into the youths of today, it is something that I feel a lot of youths tend to kind of forget and tend to, to turn a blind eye to, in terms of how much information is too much information to share. But yeah, instant karma compilation. Kid got what he deserved. I hope that train hit him super fucking hard to the point where he didn't even feel it. And sorry if you were on that train and you witnessed this horrible accident. But, now that you know the backstory of it, maybe you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe it was okay. But for everybody else who is especially visiting Japan, please be careful of the trains, okay? I don't want to see any innocent people getting hit by a train. But yeah, that was just a little news article that I wanted to share for today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right there to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. Over here next to my head, a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one. Links to all my social media and everything is down in the description below as always. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.